picture. We are controlling transmission. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can change the focus to a soft blur or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to the outer limits.
What is up, everybody? Friday night, February 7th, 2020. 3 Men in a Basement live show. This is the Masters of Evil Takeover. The other boys from 3 Men in a Basement are on assignment. I think they're up in the DC Watchtower. So it's your boy Nemesis Prime here. Welcome to the channel. If you guys this is your first time watching it, thank you so much for joining us. If you're in the chat and of course watching this on the rewind, we really appreciate it. So I had to bring in some, people that I needed for, of course, to do these live shows. So I've got my comic book brother, Dave in the Cave. Say what's up.
What's up, party people? Happy to join.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dave. And we have a special guest tonight. We have our man Ink Jedi from the Comic Book Fiend Club. Really appreciate it here. Ink, say what's up to everyone hanging out with us tonight.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for having me tonight. Real happy to be here.
Awesome, guys. And of course, let's pay some bills. We are sponsored by Rocket Comics. You can check them on their website at rocketcomics.com. They are on Instagram. They are on Facebook and Twitter. They are a CGC facilitator as well as pressing services. So if you guys need anything pressed, here are the prices. $10 a book for pressing, $5 a book for cleaning. And if you are using them and you mention 3 Men in a Basement for the first time, you get 20% off your first pressing order. And of course, if you're a returning customer, use the code either 3MIB or LOTLB for Lords of the Long Box, and you get 10% for your second time and going forward. They do have some upcoming shows. Of course, if we are past the deadline for C2E2 pressing, but you still can get books in for your February 22nd deadline. There's a ton of people that are going to be at C2E2 at the end of this month. If you're interested in any of the signatures, definitely reach out to them. Send your books in. It's a great opportunity to get those books signed and sent back to you via CGC. So again, guys, it's a Friday night show. We love being here. Just some real quick things I want to talk about. We see who's hanging out with us in the chat. Our man, Chad Crow, he was hanging out here for a good half an hour. We were kind of chatting it up back and forth. He showed me an awesome book that he got from overseas for a Fantastic Four book. Really awesome, from Brazil. We got our man, Matt Forge. Thanks for coming, man. What's up? And then, of course, he sent me, like I said, Chad Crow sent me a Fantastic Four #1 from Brazil. It's crazy, guys. If you guys aren't friends with him, check him out on Facebook. I'm not sure. Chad's also on the Instagram as well. He actually has that picture. Check that out. Of course, our Dave in the Cave's here. Otto somehow in here. I don't know why. Otto, I don't know what you're doing, but it is what it is. We got who is this? We got RZ Tigers with us. Hey, another Comic Book Fiend member. We got Count Strange is with us. Thank you guys for joining, anybody else who's hanging out with us on this beautiful Friday night. So, again, we got our special guest, Ink Jedi. It's to give a little bit of a background. I mean, it's funny. I've been following a lot of the Comic Book Fiend members for quite a while. I never knew that Juan literally was like the next town over for me. I was living in Carteret, New Jersey for about 3 years. I bought something. Well, here it is. I met him at Baltimore Comic Con in person with a lot of the other members who I've been following for quite a long time on IG. And, we kind of talked briefly, followed him on IG. I followed him on his Instagram seller page, and I picked up 2 books from him. He ships them to me, and I look at the, look at the shipping address, and it says Carteret, New Jersey. And I was like, dude, I lived in Carteret for 3 years. Like, how have we never met? How have we never ran into each other from like the diner or, McDonald's or CVS? It's just funny that it was just so, but it's been great. They of course have their own YouTube channel. It is Comic Book Fiend Club. You can check them out on their website and IG at comicbookfiendclub.com. And also, I also have Ink Jedi's Instagram up there. So, Juan, tell us a little bit about the Comic Book Fiend Club in a nutshell. Like, what is it all about from the beginning?
So I think we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. So basically, the club founder, the president, Merc with a beard, had an idea to start up a kind of a club. He saw a ton of other clubs out there, for different things. Disney has a ton of clubs, and Star Wars has its own club. So he said, why not make a comic book club? So he got together with Steve, which is the Battleholic on Instagram, and they created the Comic Book Fiend Club. Started off very small, but through the years we started having more enrollments, and we started to grow to the point where we decided, let's just divide into chapters. So currently we have, East Coast chapter, West Coast, Midwest, South, Canada chapter, and international chapter. With
while
over
you're talking, I
members.
want to throw up this, guys. These are all the members for Comic Book Fiend Club, and as you can see, East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. These are a ton of guys, all on Instagram. You can go on their website at comicbookfiendclub.com, and even again, like Juan's saying, South, US, Canada, and international as well. So, continue, Juan.
So recently the international chapter and Canadian chapter, those are the two latest, like, to break out into their own individual chapters. And I guess the best way to describe what the club is, you hear it all the time, but it's just like a family. We kind of take care of our own. We also try to help out the community. We do a ton of things from, like, book donations, drives for charity, things like that. Just to give back. Usually we try to help out people if they have, like, GoFundMe's and things like that. We want to, kind of spread that word so they can get the help that they need. What up, Strange Spaceman, who's definitely been working hard and is really sick. He was supposed to be on with us tonight, but I'm glad he's at least watching. So, aside from just, like, going to cons, right? We help each other out. So, for example, if I can't get to WonderCon in California, I'll hit up one of the boys in the West chapter and say, hey, if I give you this book, can you get it signed and submitted for me? And they'll be like, yeah, no problem. So it's that trust that we have with one another to send an expensive book over if we have to. Or, hey, can you pick up this variant for me that I can't go out there and get? Boom, they'll go out there and do it. It's a very family oriented club, but it doesn't mean that we kind of separate ourselves from the IG comic community. It's a community we're very proud to be a part of and just want to help out in any way we can, and we used to do 2 enrollments a year, but we moved it over to just 1 enrollment a year. So the next one is going to be in July.
Okay. And I definitely want to interject, especially on what you said about helping out the community, whether it's members of the club or whether it's outside people, especially Strange Spaceman, Mike. I told this story back at the end of 2019 when we had our Baltimore CGC unboxing. I met Mike personally. We talked back and forth throughout that weekend, and of course I had on-site grading books. I was waiting every day to pick up my economy books. I went at 10 a.m. Sunday, 12 o'clock Sunday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And I was just like, I need to leave. And it was funny. I was going back down to the convention floor. He was coming up. He goes, oh, hey, what are you doing? You going up to CGC? I was like, oh man, I just got there. They still don't have my books ready. So Mike goes, listen, he's like, I got to be here all day. He's like, I got a late flight. He's like, I'll pick up your books for them. For you, and I'll ship them out the next day. And I go, yeah, really? And so, I left. I had to drive back to Jersey, and he was in line. He goes, listen, CGC wants to talk to you just to verify everything. So I verified everything. He picked up the books for me that Sunday, flew back home. We contacted each other on Monday. He shipped out the books on Monday. I got them like Wednesday or Thursday, and it was great. I mean, I still have the box, like, with all my other, stuff that I have, because I just think it's amazing. And I talked about that on that video, just how much I love this community, the IG and, YouTube community, especially you guys, that I never knew Mike before this. I mean, I only knew him through Instagram. Right. And the fact that he was, he said he was going to do this. And I mean, if you guys saw the unboxing, I mean, one of the books was a BA 12, he could have just picked up the books and ran away and sold that, it would have been like, what am I going to do? Some guy picked up my books and that's it. I'm done. But, he said what he was going to do. I highly, I appreciate it so much. I enjoyed meeting all you guys down in Baltimore, for the guys that I did meet. So like you said, well, I mean, that is amazing that what you guys do. I follow a lot of you guys on Instagram. I think definitely giving back to the community is an unbelievable thing. And I know we do have an upcoming show, and, I kind of want you to talk about it a little bit, because I know something that you are involved in is the Super Jersey Comic Expo, which is upcoming in March.
So the Super Jersey Comic Expo, it's getting ran by a guy named Paul Brown. Paul Brown used to have he still has a YouTube channel called Comic Trips. He himself is a real avid collector and a great guy. So we will be having a table there for the first time anywhere at a convention, and we'll have a live podcast set up. Got some interview lineup with some of the guests they have there. And we'll just be bringing some coverage of the event to everyone on YouTube. And, looking forward to it. Kind of nervous because it's actually our first con, like setting up somewhere. We'll also be having some books to sell for, to raise money for as of yet not decided charity. So by then we'll probably have that figured out. So all those proceeds will go to charity. And, like I said, just looking forward to it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a lot of work, I'm sure, to set up. I mean, we were lucky enough to be in Baltimore with the Comic Core crew and Discovery Bay, and they let me and Otto set up and do 2 live shows back to back on a Friday and a Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday. I mean, it was just great. I mean, the fact that you could set up a booth and then just have the opportunity where other YouTube community channels are letting you come in for about a half hour to an hour just to kind of run a show, which was really awesome. I mean, it was me and Otto on Friday, random people just kind of stopping in. Dave, I mean, you came on Saturday, you sat in. I mean, how awesome was that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I mean, and it's funny because a lot of those guys, were West Coast guys too. I mean, Discovery Bay's from the West Coast. John's Comics he's a West Coast guy too. So it was cool to, kind of chop it up with them a little bit and, just get to know the community a little bit more. And, it's all about reach at the end of the day, right? I mean, who can grab what and when and why, and and just keeping those lines of communication open. So
definitely. And so you said, you guys used to do 2 memberships a year. You guys are down to 1. Kind of what is involved with the membership? Just kind of give us a rough, quick overview of what it takes to be a Comic Book Fiend Club member.
So when it comes to enrollment, we open up enrollment for a month, and then before we used to send questions on IG, but we kind of created a website. You go to the website and you fill out an application form. The application just asks random questions: how long you've been collecting for, what are you currently reading, are you drama free, which is the most important thing, right? Like being drama free, meaning not being a bad seller or being someone who's a cheat or whatever. So those are the types of questions we want to ask. Again, because we want to be good representatives of the community. And then the most important thing we tell people is like, get to know people in the club, especially with your own chapter. So I know you put up the pictures before. Each of those names on there is a link to their Instagram account.
Yeah.
So let's say you're in the East, you put the East Coast up, and then you click on the names, and they'll take you right to our IGs. Just send us a message, say, hey, I want to enroll, because there's definitely a little bit of a background check done, just to make sure, like, you're, to keep you honest.
Of course.
And then we all get together at the conclave, and then we decide, okay, like, we're gonna vote these guys in, or we're gonna give these. Most of the time the decision is, this guy's great, let's get him in, or this guy's great, let's see if he'll hang around to next year.
Awesome.
We want to make sure that, people aren't just joining to get clout, or, like for me, when I got in, I always was like, well, let's have a YouTube channel. We have so many great members with great collections or a lot of great insight or whatever. Let's make a YouTube channel. And that YouTube channel, I said, it's for everyone. It's not Juan's YouTube channel. It's not Steve's YouTube. It's the club's channel. Everyone could get a piece of this. So that's what the club is about. It's not about being selfish. It's about, being about the community, and not just the club community, but the IG community.
Yeah, definitely.
So
and it's really nice. I mean,
more
I was on your not me, but I remember when you guys did the last drunk cast. I mean, it was great because you had like an hour with yourself and Steve and a couple other guys, and then it ended, and then it was like the after party drunk fest.
I went to bed. I was like, I gotta sleep, guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, can we do a show? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed. Go ahead and do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's great that like you can keep continuing, you know, hour after hour with different members, and everybody wants to just, you know, and you all chat it up. I mean, you all get to see each other face to face, you know, so continuing the action is awesome. You want to shout out Chad Crow? Thank you for the $2 super chat. We really appreciate it. That's actually our first super chat. We finally realized how to do it on this channel. We have over a thousand subscribers. Thank you, Chad Crow, for being number one on our super chats. So, you know, again, you talked about your YouTube channel, both for the Comic Book Fiend Club. I mean, I know you do have your own. I don't know how much you want to kind of get into your own channel. Sure. You know, I follow you, and every week I love checking out your videos. You know, I do comment on them, or, you know, I send you a comment in IGDM, you know, maybe more privately. I think what you're doing is great because, again, it's not comic related. It's all you. You know, if I had the courage or the drive to do that, I think that's a fabulous thing to do. I don't know if you really want to get into your YouTube channel a little bit. If not, completely understand.
YouTube channel is just Ink Jedi. It's more of a personal channel. Aside from, like, you know, comics, I created a channel where I could just like kind of explain some of my life experiences and put those experiences into a lesson. And I believe like those are what, like, my personal life has seen a lot of crazy things. And I'm a big believer, like, sometimes in life things happen to you, so that way you're able to help encourage and motivate other people. And I'm very honest. I'm very real with my life. So I don't go in there and sugarcoat anything. So I created it just as an outlet for myself, but also to encourage others who may be struggling with mental illness, or maybe struggling with some self-image issues or things like that. So it's totally different from the comic book stuff, but it's also stuff that's therapeutic for me, but it's also helping me get a message out there of, like, you know, determination and, you know, just getting help if you need it, you know? So I decided to do that, and it's been going great. But I plan to do other things on there, and hopefully it all gets planned out by 2020, through 2020. So yeah.
I definitely like watching the videos every week. You know, you post them right at a good time. I'm pretty much going to lunch, so I watch it, whether it's 5-10 minutes. I mean, it's a great thing to just, you know, put it on in the car and just kind of listen to you talk. And then, like I said, I comment on it, you know, and we kind of chat back and forth. You know, like I said, in your last video, you were talking about bullying and fighting. And I said to you that it's just unbelievable that and this is going to be funny for Dave too, because Dave knows him, is in kindergarten, I got into a fight with a kid. He was a bad kid. He had a book bag. He hit me in the back of the head with a book bag, and, you know, had a book in it, hit a blood clot. And 30 years later, the kid was in my wedding. And Dave knows who it is. So it's just so funny that, like, that's just how the world works. I mean, he was a bad kid when he was a young kid, but we met back up in like middle school and high school, and we've been playing basketball ever since. And we're best friends. Like I said, he was in my wedding. So, you know, your videos definitely inspire. Yeah, dude, you can definitely tell. Absolutely. So we got to learn about the Comic Book Fiend Club. We got to learn about your YouTube channel. So, of course, anytime we have guests on here, we like to know a little bit more about you personally collecting. So what can you tell us what was the first thing that you remember collecting? What was the first, you know, way back in the day, whatever it was?
So as a kid, my uncle was a huge influence, as most uncles are. I realize, like, a lot of people in the community, they get really influenced by, like, not their dad, the dads all the time, but like their uncles have a huge role to play. My uncle, you know, collected comics since he, you know, the 60s, 70s. And then I think around the 90s, I was probably like 6-7 years old. I kind of found one of his long boxes, started putting out all these magazines. And I was like, oh, what's this? He's like, these are comic books. And he would, like, sit there, show me the pictures or whatever. And then you know, as I got older.
Shout out to the Battleholic for the $4.99 super chat. Ink cute with a little kissy face.
Oh goodness, thank you. I'm blushing. So from then on, like he would go to the shop and he'd get me books. My uncle was a huge Image fan. Like when Image Comics came out, he was like all into it, and he loved like the darkness. That was his shit. Like he loved the darkness. Yeah. So he'd collect like every single cover, every single variant, and just he loved it. But he also and he still collects to this day or whatever. Like at my wedding, we spent like 2 hours just talking comics while like, like I'm supposed to be like, you know, with the other guests. I just hung out with my uncle.
That's awesome.
And you know, my wife collects too, so like again, it makes it easier. Like she's very understanding of the hobby. So if I'm dropping $400 or $500 on a book, she doesn't cringe or anything. She's like, "Oh, it is what it is. Give me one too." Wow. Like, you know what I mean? So my uncle played a huge role, and then I started reading a lot of X-Men when I was younger. Around the time the animated series came out, I really got hooked. So I started reading that, and then I kind of fell off as I got like into high school. Fast forward till like I want to say like a couple of years ago, I started kind of getting into comics after going to New York Comic Con, and then I'm like, I wonder if there's a lot of comic stuff on YouTube. Come to find out, I was watching Tim's videos. I was watching all his old haul videos. I'm like, man, comics are so cool. I need to get back into it. It was after that I started to get back into collecting comics, and then about a year and a half later, I ran into the Comic Book Fiend Club, and then I applied, and I didn't get in, which was a huge mistake on their part.
You heard it here first, guys.
You heard it here first.
Huge mistake. But the second time around, I got it, and I realized it's not about like your key issues. It's not about your knowledge, right? It's about like the type of person you are and how you carry yourself. And then after that, I was let in. So that's pretty much my story where I'm at now. You know, just a huge influence my uncle had on me. And if it wasn't for him just like teaching me and talking to me about the storylines and the intricate characters and, you know, mutant abilities, you know, I would never have gained the interest in it. So that's where I started.
Crazy where you can find like a collector. I mean, I don't think I've ever talked about this story on here or on any of the videos. The first time I remember collecting was in the late 80s. It was just this kid that I knew, and recently he passed away towards the end of 2019, and we were all at his funeral, and you know, everyone's chatting around, and you know, we all remember things that he was like in high school and college and stuff like that. And it was just funny because it was just like it brought me back. I was like, wow, I was like, this kid actually was the person who got me into comic book collecting. And I can still remember that Batman issue, that like the first Batman issue that he gave me, and I was just like, wow, this is really awesome. And that's what it became. I mean, because I was kind of like in the toy collecting when I was really young, Transformers, He-Man, and then comics were like a new thing for me. So it was just, it's unbelievable, like what a change, you know, things can be. I mean, I was in the early 90s collecting heavily when I was a young kid, and then I got out of it because I'm sure we all, you know, we hit puberty and we didn't want to do nothing with comics. We all want girls. And then all of a sudden 2011 came around, and like DC did their, you know, Flashpoint Rebirth New 52 run. They did the New 52 run, and I was just like, man, I was like, I'm gonna check out these books. So it's so strange that, you know, what people can do as far as collecting. So Dave, I mean, do you have some questions for Juan himself?
I mean, do you want to talk about that awesome Punisher statue behind you? Because that thing is beastly. Look at that thing.
Yeah, man. So this was the Sideshow exclusive. My wife picked it up for me last Christmas, and then I just got it. It takes about a year or so, or whatever. But yeah, she picked it up for me. And no, it's just awesome. I did an unboxing video. It was my first unboxing video for a Sideshow statue, so it was completely horrible. It definitely was not like the quality of like a Jet Min or whatever. But I was just super excited to have. Like, I didn't put the gun on. I was like a mess. So no, it's awesome. So I never really heard of Sideshow Collectibles until I got into this club and met Steve. Steve, the Bataholic, has a huge Sideshow collection. And then he's always been like, oh, do it. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I could spend $500 on a statue. Well, fast forward 2 years from meeting Steve, I have like 6 Sideshow pieces in my home. It's boxed up because we're planning on moving. But yeah, so I mean, they're awesome. But I definitely don't get everyone like Steve does.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, my
go
first one
pretty quick.
My first one was, I don't know if I got Zatanna first or I got the Spider-Gwen first, but
You got the Zatanna. I remember.
Zatanna was the first
I
one.
remember oogling over it when you got it. Like,
Yeah, I did like a fun little reveal where I had it covered like a magician's thing, and like I was like acting like I was pulling it up, and then I did the abracadabra and I like pulled it up and it was like the box for Zatanna. I mean, I'm like not into like the unboxing, but I have a ton of DC collectible stuff which I've collected over the years. Just in my case, if you guys have seen my room tour, I did get the Spider-Gwen, which sits above me. The next one both me and Dave have on order is the Black Cat.
Okay.
And that's going to go right up here as well because she's my other character for Marvel.
I blame that guy up here for my my recent statue disease, that virus that's happening, because I got the J. Scott Campbell not Spider-Gwen, the Gwen Stacy where she's holding the umbrella. That was the first one. Then I got a Tweeterhead, old school Catwoman, and then I literally had a Poison Ivy 1/4 Stanley Archerm statue essentially fall in my lap, where I had to buy it. And then we ordered pre-ordered the Black Cat, and then I also pre-ordered the J. Scott Campbell statue that pretty much matches this.
Mhm.
That's such a nice cover. Period, man.
I have to stop. It's a disease.
You start with one thing. You start cheap with like the comics, and then I was back in the toys. I did some statues. I was even in the Hot Toys for a while, and they were good when they were like $125 up to $200. You know, you eventually get that DX, which was like $200 to $250, but then they just started regular ones that were like $250, and I was just like, I got to get out of this game. Like, I mean, I sold them and I made profit on all of them.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but yeah, that was just like, that's just crazy. I mean, I know Steve posts all those Prime One sideshow stuff. I just can't imagine. Like, I'd run out of space. I mean, I'd be putting them in like centerpieces of like my tables and like right next to the couch. But
it's something else, man.
They take a room on top of a room.
But like, I mean, even at New York Comic Con, I'm like, honestly, how much time do we spend in the XM Studios booth? It had to have been close to like a half hour, and it was just like, wow, where can I put this? This thing is massive. My wife won't see it, right? So,
yeah. I mean, who did the one with Darkseid and all the Justice Leagues around? Was that was XM?
Yeah, that was XM.
Ooh,
oh my god,
it was massive.
I'd get kicked out of this house so quick.
Yeah, I know. I think Steve ordered the Batman Who Laughs Prime One. That one's pretty big. I mean, those take. I mean, he has the Mr. Freeze one, which the thing is with those two, like they'll get pushed back a year too. Like they don't care. They're like, well, it's not ready yet, so you're gonna have to wait another year. I'm like, I hate waiting. That's my biggest thing. Like, damn, I have to wait a whole year for this.
I'm happy with just like the monthly payments. Like when I know it's close and I'm just like 2 payments left and they're like, well, you know, you could just pay it off now. We'll send it to you when it comes in early. I'm like, yes, like that's such a great feeling. But it just happens. So
do you guys do like the spooktacular points and stuff like that?
I have a couple. I don't even know what I've ever. I just collect them.
We got to get you in. We have a chat where like as soon as points go up, we send it out to one another.
Oh,
and then
really?
we'll go and yeah, we'll have to get you guys on there. I'm up to like 150 points just with those. They do it. Steve, when do they do it, Steve? They do it like Halloween and Thanksgiving? He'll know. He'll know better than me for sure.
He even said that the Child got pushed back to 2021. And I know that thing went on sale and I made the mistake of not pre-ordering that thing because that thing is just insane.
Yeah, we'll add you guys. He's like, yeah, we'll add you. October and during San Diego Comic Con.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll send fake codes.
Shout out to Discovery Bay. I saw him doing his little pop-up show. I bought some books on the pop-up show earlier today. Thanks for the shout out for this show. He was on Thoreau's auction this week as well. So thanks for joining us, as well as we got the main man himself from the Comic Book Fiend Club. He's in here as well. Thanks for joining. Now just kind of change gears a little bit. I know it's Friday. I know today is the first day that Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn came out. I know you guys haven't seen it, but I went to go see it last night. So kind of just want to give a quick review about it. Nothing nothing spoilerish. I truly liked it. And I know me and Juan were talking before the show. Steve didn't like it at all. I mean, I will tell you, I think it's great for these reasons. I think it's great because the director, Kathy Yan, she's a woman. She's directing females. So she understands and knows what females are like. it's pretty much an all female cast minus McGregor and Zaz. So the way they act, the way they talk to each other is great. I think Hugh McGregor probably had the most fun of anybody, just the way he acts in the movie. I think that's great. My other thing is, if you guys have watched John Wick, if you guys know the director, what's his name? Chad Stahelski. He was actually brought on to do the fight scenes. So a lot of the fight choreography. I mean, when you watch this movie and you see the fight scenes, you're going to be like, this is like, there's no way she could do that. But I mean, if you guys watch John Wick, those 3 movies, and you like those, you're really going to like some of these fight scenes.
Nice.
As far as, spoilers, it's its own thing. I really think they fleshed out Harley as far as a backstory. They really made her smarter, because of course she does, she's got her PhD. She was a doctor. I mean, it's really funny, a lot of the scenes that they do. I'm really happy that they had the hyena in there. And of course, you guys see that in the trailer, no spoiler. So whether something happens past this, I guess we're going to have to see. I mean, I know numbers weren't the greatest, but that's for a Thursday opening. But I think also because it's February, it's cold. I think the marketing straight up was just bad for this movie. I remember when the teaser trailer came out, it was just like, I even saw it. I was just like, whatever. First full trailer, I was like, okay, I like it. And then the second trailer came out. I was like, I think I can really get behind this. And then when I went to go see it, straight up, I liked it. And that's just not coming from, again, like a huge DC Harley fan, just coming from, it's definitely a fun ride. Even the soundtrack is all girls. There's a couple of songs in there that are old school, but a lot of them are new. But that's just what it is. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy meets John Wick and Harley Quinn. So, if anybody has seen it in the live chat, let me know what you thought. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. Go in there with, open eyes and ears, because, you don't know what this movie could be down the line, because it is really not too much geared with like Aquaman and Wonder Woman and the Justice League. It's post Suicide Squad, but they really fleshed out Harley and her ideas for the movie. So
should we stay to the end?
I mean, I'll tell you now, it's a little yes and no. I mean, it's like it's not really funny, and it's like kind of like Deadpool 1. So you know how that ends. Yeah. That's kind of how it is. I mean, you could stay. I mean, me and the wife got up, and she was like, "What? We're not staying?" I was like, I'll watch it online. I was like, I don't need to sit here. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. Like,
that is a good wife, because my wife would have done the same thing and bust my chops the entire time. So
she was like, we're not going to stay. She's like, we're not staying. It's a DC movie.
Marvel really preconditioned us to like not leave ever. Where like even when you go see regular movies, like, no, I'm gonna stay to that.
Yeah, every movie. I mean, like Godzilla. Like I just watched King of the Monsters. I had to stay for the end of that. I'm like, I got to watch every little bit, and I'm glad I did. It's like, come on, like. I usually right before the movie comes out, I usually go in there and I read something. And I says, I type in post-credit scene for this movie. Do I stay? And, they'll say, oh, there's no post-credit scene. So there's no point for staying. So
the age of the internet. Gotta love it.
Yeah. Now, Dave, I know you don't have your stuff to show, but you did send, and this is something new for everyone. You sent in some video games to a lot of games. We had Austin Reese on here about a month or two ago, and he was talking about like the video games thing and how that's like the new thing for 2019 and 2020. And if you guys have seen my tour or interview with Jeff Mazza, who works at Metropolis Comics, showing off all the video games, that was really interesting. And that's kind of like the new thing. I mean, I'm not going to be sending in too many games. I will send in a few. Me and Juan, we were kind of talking before, some of the guys send out some books. But Dave, what did you send in that you're going to be getting back next week? And unfortunately, it's not here this week to show off.
Yeah,
really some really cool games.
So I sent in 3 games. So one was closed in a box. 2 were just carts. So the closed in box game was Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, Super Nintendo. Probably my favorite Super Nintendo game of all time. And then for my Nintendo games, they were both just carts. Your first Zelda, so the gold game, and then the second one was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. So classics. And next up, I have closed in a box Super Mario Brothers 3. So
that looks clean.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Did you do a typical 3Men in a Basement? Don't look at the grades, and we're going to do a live unboxing.
Come on, you know me better. Of course. It'll be here. Well, hopefully I'm home for when they drop it off. Supposedly it's going to be here either Monday or Tuesday next week. So yeah, we'll save it.
All right. Okay.
I'm good at waiting, so it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I don't even know where to start. What do you think the grade is? I have no idea. I've never graded a video game before.
You'd be happy with like a 7. You're like, it's great. Like,
who knows? But I mean, it's interesting because it's like, I mean, I'm like you. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm probably going to do a couple more. The stuff that I played, when I was a kid and still play to this day. I mean, again, I have 3. I would love a number 2. I would love a number 1. And that'll kind of be it. But I mean, it's interesting. I'm more naturally curious than anything else. So let's see what happens.
Awesome. Otto says, what about Joker? He's mentioned, but of course I'll tell you, we don't see him. And that's because Jared Leto just never wanted to do it. He doesn't want to do it again. So mentioned, name dropped, some stuff like that, but you really never see him. And as far as live unboxings, if you guys don't mind, I have some books real quick to do some CGC stuff. And you guys know I don't even look at the grades beforehand. So let's kind of grab this box real quick.
Nice. I don't even know what this is. I'm Oh, damn. All right. Look at that.
So this was a CGC modern submission. This was fast tracked because...
Oh, I do know what this is. Never mind.
Yeah. Yes, you do. I'm fast tracking these books because as soon as the next trailer drops, most of these books will be for sale the moment the second trailer drops. So it is 8 books. 2 books are Spider-Gwen variants because that's pretty much all I collect. And then there is a total of 6 copies of Wonder Woman number 7, the first appearance of Modern Cheetah, which is of course going to be in the next Wonder Woman movie. So pretty much I just wanted to grade. I had a bunch of them. I've been sitting on them. I figured, now's the time because if I can get them out just as they are popping with the trailer, that's the best time. And I probably will have some of these available for sale at the Comic Book Swap, which we'll talk about very shortly. So let's go with the first book.
Ooh,
a Wonder Woman number 7. And the first grade, we got to go on this side, is a...
Hey.
All right, a 9.6 start off. Very nice. And all these books were pressed, so I'm really happy to say that they were definitely pressed out. So I'm sure, I know all the pressings helped. So first one at a 9.6.
When's that book from? The 80s?
Yeah, some George Perez, Lee Wen, 1987, first appearance of the new Cheetah, Dr. Barbara Minerva.
Nice.
Really cool. I see Very Gary Comics is here, yeah, and we got Joker M21 from the NY Warriors. I was on their auction this week. Shout out to them. Thank you guys so much. What does he say? Oh, let's see. Well, it was good, people. I'm here at work. Just want to give a shout out to Mr. Prime and the crew, on everyone on the panel and chat. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. It's a fun time right here with these guys. And unfortunately, Otto and Roger are nowhere to be found. So again, I'm gonna go fast through the Wonder Womans because again, there's 6 of them. So
Jesus. Hey,
nice, another one.
Another 9.6. So, of course, I will be keeping the highest grade. So right now, 9.6s are where we're at. If I get a 9.8, of course, I'm keeping the 9.8. So next up is another one.
Hey.
Oh, all right. So we got 3 pairs, 9.6.
Trip 9.6s.
Hell yeah. Gotta get these bags out of the way. Next up is another.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
You gonna go for the 9.6 flush?
It's gonna be. We're gonna have six of a kind and 9.6. It's just insane.
Gary, I know what a 9.6 feels like.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does with those New Mutants 98s. So we're at 3 and a 9.0. Ooh.
Okay.
Definitely gonna have to look at some grader notes on that one. But you know what? I'm sure this is definitely a bump from what it was. So still. It's, it is what it is. It's going to get sold. That's obviously the reason why I did all these now and not waited.
Yeah.
Next up is another one.
Hey,
9.6 again. Yeah.
wow.
So I got one more left.
Come on, baby.
Hope and pray that we can get a 9.8. Maybe they put the 9.8 with like right at the end. And we are at a
9.
Oh, all right.
something different. That was actually something different. All right. So this is a 9.8, which I'm really super happy for. All right. So this is actually from Very Gary. Thank you so much. This
Look at
is.
that.
Do I have two more? No, I only have. Oh, that was all of them, actually. I'm sorry. This is a Spider-Gwen #1. This is Paris Comic-Con variant. I'm shocked. I'm speechless, guys. This thing is a 9.8. This thing is super, super great to have. This was very limited because, of course, this was from Paris Comic-Con.
Wow.
From a 9.8. I'm fucking ecstatic. Super happy. Super happy on that one. And so then I guess the last one is another Spider-Gwen variant. This is the San Diego Comic-Con variant. This is Spider-Gwen #5. This is another rare one that, of course, I picked up because I forget someone in our chat has it. I think he had it in a 9.6, but it's another rare one. So this is the cover.
Oh, nice.
Really cool. And we are at a 9.6. 9.6. Still pretty dope. This is really cool. This is again, it's from San Diego Comic-Con. I think it's 2016 maybe, or no, 2015. I'm sorry. So
Nice.
Really awesome. But that was all the books. So that was my quick unboxing. All the Wonder Womans will be for sale. Well, minus one of them because I'm going to keep one. Will be for sale at the Comic Swap. Speaking of the Comic Swap, see how I segued into that. We are having the third 3 Men in a Basement New Jersey Comic Swap. First two were done up in Connecticut. Third one coming down here to New Jersey, Saturday, February 29th in my hometown of Roselle Park, New Jersey. It is at Frenchie's Bar and Grill, which is literally 2 minutes off the Garden State Parkway, right on Westfield Ave. It's probably the easiest thing to get to. You cannot get lost if you're coming from either the north, the south, the turnpike. It's literally so simple. It's one turn. You're literally coming off the New Jersey State or the Garden State Parkway. You make a left and you probably drive about 100 feet and it's on your left-hand side. So guys, if you guys are interested in coming and setting up, please contact either myself, Roger, or Otto. If you guys just want to come, it's from 1 to 5. Anybody who's setting up, please contact me beforehand. It's a lot of fun. The past two ones have been great. Me and Dave went to the first one. We set up. Unfortunately, we didn't make the second one, but it's really cool. It's just similar to what, Juan in the Comic Book Fiend community does. It's really just bringing the IG and YouTube community together. It's completely free to set up. You guys don't need to bring tables. You don't need to bring anything other than yourselves and comics. I'm bringing some comic books, whether they're raw books, some slab books. I'm bringing some Funko Pops. I'm going to bring some statues, possibly. We do some raffles. We do giveaways. If we're going to try to do a live show. I can't guarantee that it'll be at the swap, but we'll be definitely taking a lot of photos, and we'll definitely be doing a live show here in my pad Saturday night. So make sure to, if you have want to get any information, definitely check us out. I had a gentleman from PA contact me. He may be coming out here for a nice 3-hour drive to come over here. I know the guys again from Connecticut are coming down. I know Gary's coming down. I do have a local artist being my brother, actually. He's actually going to be selling some prints and some stickers because I know everybody likes stickers and prints. I will tell you that the 3 Men in a Basement will be debuting a brand new merchandise other than the shirts. We will have some brand new merchandise to sell, which I'm really excited. I've been in the works with my partner for about a month on this one, so it's definitely going to be a great time. And that's all I have on that. I know Juan, you're trying to make it, right?
I'll make it. Yeah, I already squared that away with work. I'll be there. I'll be doing some footage for the YouTube and stuff like that for sure. Talking to everybody.
Awesome.
Nice.
Are you going to be setting up, or are you just going to? And then here it is, guys. If you guys are watching this live or on the rewind, you guys don't need to. You guys can bring stuff. You can just put it in your back pocket. If you don't want to bring a ton of stuff, totally up to you.
I'm pretty sure my wife is going to try to buy one of those Wonder Woman comics for you. I can already hear her in the bed, like, "Oh, word."
Well, Juan, can your wife hang out with my wife and Justin's wife, please? Please, please.
Do it. Let's do it.
I mean, I'll be, Like I said, I just started following your wife on IG, and I was going through her pictures, and I was just like, I love my wife, but I'm just like, there's women out there that are just like me, and it's unbelievable. Like, I'm like, oh, Harley Quinn, and oh, Wonder Woman, and I'm like, Jesus. Juan's got a great girl.
I actually met her at New York Comic Con.
That's
and
cool.
Then the next year I proposed at New York Comic Con. And then the following year we got married, then went to New York Comic Con because Mark Hamill was there. So that's how we started.
Oh, I remember when he was there. Yeah, he was really expensive, right? Like well over $100.
Bro,
oh, that was $250. I'm thinking of like 2000, maybe 10 or 11. He was like $100
for like auto and a picture. I think I paid like $600. It was really bad. It was really, really bad.
And it was a 5-second thing because Justin, you remember when Mike came with us? It was literally you took your bag off, you took your lanyard off, you walked, you walked behind him, they snapped a pic, you shook his hand, and you were done. And that was it.
He was he was like this, and then that was it, bro. You gotta keep it moving.
I wish I can. I don't know where. I mean, I think my picture's on the other side of the basement, but
yeah, you were in that. Unfortunately, I was probably getting signatures or sketches or something along those lines. Shout out to, like I said, Comics and Culture. He's actually coming. He wants to sell most of his collection. So maybe Very Gary, he's big into, buying collections. He's the person to talk to. Of course, Tim from Lords of the Long Box is hanging out with us. The Joker M21 NY Warriors is going to be coming down. Really excited to see those guys. I know, like I said, I was on their auction this past week. Check out the NY Warriors auctions Tuesday nights. Lon Espinoza, thanks for joining with us. Tim, are you feeling any better? I know, we didn't do a live show this week because you were a little under the weather. I don't know if you got that coronavirus going, but
Jesus.
out in that California stuff, us East Coast guys are still, we're holding off. We're holding it at bay, with the cold weather over here.
Well, they just had that boat roll into Bayonne, and then they were like, oh, yeah, there might be 11 people with corona on it. I'm like, oh, why don't we keep them on the boat? Keep them on the boat.
They're quarantining people up in Princeton University.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, what? Don't leave yet.
Oh, my God. That's some crazy shit right there.
TiVo, I got that too, TiVo. I got that too.
The Modelo virus. He's just on pills. He doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, Very Gary says he'll be ready. So, guys, he's definitely the person to talk to if you really want to sell.
Your first appearance of a nihilist, just sell it to Gary.
Yeah. I did. When it was crazy, I was on Facebook, and I'm in a bunch of the groups, and I saw somebody posted a 9.4 Nova number 1, and I was really going to buy it, and then I was going around, and I didn't realize that it was this guy, and next
it was me.
I was just looking around, and I was just I right before we went live.
I'll bring it to the swap.
I was like, I wonder if this is still available. And then I clicked on it, and I saw the name of who it was in the picture, and I was just like, oh, it's Ink's Jedi is selling 9.4. And I was like, do I need another one for my collection?
How many are you up to now? Man. 11, 12?
I'm up to 10 graded 2 raws.
Wow.
So Baker's dozen, because I had some. I had 2. I sold off. I got some. So I need to send the 2 that I have raw to Rocket Comics to press them. Maybe get Marv Wolfman's signature on there. If not, just get them slapped. So, but yeah, I'm at a Baker's dozen right now. So possibly, we'll go for unlucky number 13 if Juan brings this one and we make a deal. It was so funny because it was like $200 shipped, and I was like, man, that's a great deal, guys. So, and I'm thinking, wait, I was like $200 shipped, and I'm like, I don't really need shipping. I was like, maybe we'll just meet up.
We'll just meet up.
I'll buy him a beer. We'll go to the what's the diner in Carteret? Sunrise Diner or Bus Stop Diner?
The Bus Stop, yeah.
Dude, that place is the best. I mean, me and my wife lived at that place. We'll just meet up there. We'll get some tail ham and cheese, and we'll call it. We'll exchange.
You guys sound so Jersey right now. Eating at a diner, tail ham, egg, and cheese, the Parkway.
Like, you know what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. We're all here in Jersey. So we know it. We call it the Parkway, and people are like, "What the hell is that?" It's like Garden State Parkway and the Turnpike. And what it is. It's I don't know what other people. Yeah,
it's what we travel on literally every day of our lives. So.
Very Gary Comics says he's like, I'm dropping the first video of my massive collection that I just bought. If you guys are following Very Gary on Instagram, he has been doing some quick live videos of this huge collection that he actually just bought. Wow. He's actually been posting a lot of the keys, some amazing stuff. I mean, he pulled out everything from modern age keys, bronze, silver age, some beautiful, beautiful books. I'm really excited to see that. And I'm sure he's going to definitely be bringing out, selling them at New York Comic Con and sending out, I know he's sending a lot out to Graded. So good luck, Gary, on all that stuff that you are sending out. And we look forward to your video. Guys, we've been kicking it for about an hour. We want to thank everybody that's joined us here in the live chat. We're just kind of going to wrap up. Dave, we really haven't really chatted with you too much because, of course, we want to make sure to get our special guest here some time. So, throw us your information, where people can find you. What do you got coming down the pipe for YouTube?
Yeah, so Dave in the Cave 1 on Instagram. That's where I'm probably a little bit more active. YouTube, hey, Dave in the Cave, as you can see from the shirt. I like to do weekly new comic book days. I'm actually getting ready to do a Wonder Woman 750 reveal video. So I have a good chunk of those books still coming in. We'll do the Wada Games live unboxing either here or on my channel. So lots of stuff coming down the pipeline. I actually do want to do a room tour too, because my basement's actually clean for once. So
that's how I had to do it, man. I cleaned it so nice. The wife goes, look, she goes, wow, this place is really spick and span. I was like, yeah, because I'm going to do a room tour. I want to make sure people know that I'm not a slob.
Yeah,
usually
exactly.
It's just like back here, it's just like my table, and it's a mess now. It's just like it's got comics and like everything on it because I did everything from Wednesday. So I got to read books and whatnot and put them away and bag them and board them. But normally it's just like,
yeah,
it's nice and pretty. It looked
9 times out of 10, it looks like laundry day just happened down here, just a little bit over there. So, but no, I mean, it's clean. I'll definitely look to kind of put that out and, just keep it going. It's been good so far. So definitely want to keep the momentum going. So
awesome. Juan, Ink Jedi, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Again, guys, check out the Comic Book Fiend Club, either on Instagram or on their website. Actually, one of the things real quick that I didn't get to talk about, you guys do an artist spotlight on the website, and even because you guys post it on Instagram, but you actually if you guys go on their website, they do have an artist spotlight that one of the members does, which is really awesome. And it's funny that one of the more recent ones that you did, Jen Bromwell, she actually did a sketch for me at New York Comic Con literally 2 years ago. And when I was looking at her work, I was like, I know this name. And then I was actually going through my sketches. I was like, oh man, she did a Carrie Kelly for me on a Master Race Dark Knight 3 blank. So guys, definitely check out that. They definitely have a lot of things going on. Like Juan said, they're going to be at the Super Comic Expo for their first, what would you call it? First channel or clubs, like real Comic Con, right?
Yeah.
So Juan, just sign out, anything that you want to tell everybody. Go ahead and do that.
Well, firstly, thanks for having me, man. Really, really appreciate it. I've been a big fan of a lot of these channels. 3MenInABasement, Lords of the Long Box, Discovery Bay. I mean, there's so much good comic book content on YouTube now. So I think that it's a great place to come and learn. It's a good place to kind of get tips and collecting and stuff like that. So that's what our YouTube channel, we want to kind of make that into a place where you can learn a little bit and you can have some fun. So, if you haven't, like I said, follow us on Instagram at Comic Book Fiend Club, follow us on YouTube, Comic Book Fiend Club, go to the website, comicbookfiendclub.com. And
yeah, I mean, you guys are great. I mean, the fact that that one Saturday night, if you guys check it out, Masters of Evil, it's Juan and Alan, and I can't remember the other guy's name who was on.
It's Roy. It's
Roy. I mean, these guys were talking Star Wars, and I'm in the comments, and I'm just like talking comments with them, and I'm like throwing out, I'm spitting my Star Wars knowledge, and I'm just like, send me an invite. I was like, I'll jump on. It was like 11, 12 o'clock at night, and we just kicked it for like another hour, and it's just great. And that's what it is. It's all about just bringing everybody to the community. So when's the next Drunk Path?
So we give our
live show. The next live show that you guys are going to do, so people can follow you.
So the next live show we're working on just like content for the Fiendcast, which is would be a weekly, like YouTube show. Drunkcast, I give us like 3-4 months to like recover from it because it's really rough sometimes, right? Because those things could go on for like, we did one that was like 6 hours long, and we don't know what we were talking about. We were just talking.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's great. I mean, we all know you had Steve's P count going, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, Steve pees a lot during these things, and we have people just spending a lot of money during the show, just doing dumb things. So we usually do those 4 months apart. Usually after the first enrollment period is done. So hopefully again, probably by like April, May, you guys want to come on. I don't care. Like, it's just one of those things where we just come on and we have fun.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, you guys were just, again, people just bouncing in and out, and that's what's awesome about, about the Comic Book Fiend Club. There's so many members that it's just like, there's 4 people on now there's 5 people, now there's only 3 people, and then like I said, you left to go to bed, and then there's like other people that are jumping on, and it was fun just to watch, and just, you guys are just all great, just kind of kicking it back on and off. So definitely, guys, sub up to the Comic Book Fiend Club here on YouTube. Check him out on Instagram. Definitely follow Ink Jedi. He also does have a seller page on Instagram. What is it? Ink Jedi
Comics.
Ink Jedi Comics.
Yeah.
So definitely, he's got some good books up there. I did pick up some books. And then, of course, guys, our next live show will be on February 21st, which is 2 weeks from today. I'm not sure what's going on, but then, of course, we will also be having the comic swap the following week. Things coming down the pipeline for myself and the rest of the crew. I actually just did a recording this week for my first indie spotlight. I did a big cover and review of the Image book Die. I did the first 10 covers, went through all the variants, all the printings. Dave knows, and if you guys see me on any time I drop hauls, I literally have collected all the die books. So that'll be dropping sometime next week. If you haven't checked out, definitely hit up my YouTube for the room tour. Check out that on the 3 Men in a Basement. Otto just dropped a Man Without Fear Monday. I believe he's got another upcoming episode this upcoming Monday. So we got a lot of stuff coming for the 3 Men in a Basement. And that's it, guys. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us, and we are signing out. Peace.